Well, the final report by Justice Department Special Counsel John Durham has refocused attention on one of the most politically significant investigations in our country's entire history. That's the probe into whether Donald Trump's 2016 campaign was colluding with Russia to tip the outcome of the election. We now know the answer is no. But the FBI seems to have done some colluding and interfering of their own. And it went all the way up to the Obama-Biden White House. My next guest had a front row seat to some of this. He's the former acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker. Please welcome him back to our show. Great to have you back, Matt.
Good to see you, Governor. First, before we get started, I want to wish you and your family first a happy Memorial Day.
Thank you.
And especially all those veterans, and especially the families that have paid the ultimate sacrifice in service and defense of our country and our freedoms.
Absolutely. God bless you, and I agree with you. The Gold Star families of this country, we owe them a lot, and we should never forget them. Speaking of never forgetting, it's hard for some of us to forget what has happened in our country. You're one of the few people in the entire United States that saw this from the inside of the belly of the beast. You were acting Attorney General during the Trump administration. You knew and could see what some of the folks at the top levels of the DOJ and FBI were up to. Anything in that report from Durham surprise you, shock you?
Well, yes, Governor, but I think the most important thing is it's a series of reports. We had the Mueller report, we also had the Inspector General's report, and now we have the Durham report. And you have to read those together to actually see the full picture. But one of the things that Durham finally confirmed for everybody is that there was no predication, no reason to open the Crossfire Hurricane, which ultimately became the special counsel investigation in the first place. And that should concern everybody because, you know, I've been asked many times, can this happen again? Has the FBI reformed? Have they changed? And the answer is no, because the wrong person in the wrong seat can still have poor judgment and make the wrong decision, and we'd be right back where we came from.
Matt, there are some great people down in the field level throughout the FBI. You know, they're people of integrity. They do their work. They do it honestly with integrity. But we've clearly seen a level of corruption that goes up the top. We know that they knew the information that they were working off of was 100% false, and they did it anyway.
And that's what's the scariest thing, is that even in spite of all of that evidence, all of that knowledge that this was originally started by the Clinton campaign to distract from the email server and the beach the cleaning and the wiping of the servers and the hard drives, I think that is where this whole story needs to be focused. Now, we got rid of Jim Comey, we got rid of Andy McCabe, we got rid of Peter Strzok. I mean, you know, you can go down the list and these people are all gone.
Yeah, but they're all getting book deals and they're doing television contracts.
Because the
None
world
of them are in
is upside
jail.
down. Governor, the world is upside down. You know, the people that did the most damage to our country are getting $1 million book deals.
Yeah.
They're contributors on CNN and MSNBC. And it's just, it makes no sense. And I'm sure that your audience and your viewers are scratching their heads and they want accountability. And that's the hardest thing as I look at all of these reports. You know, you can do commissions, but at the end of the day, we need Congress to act. And I was encouraged last weekend to see Jim Jordan, who's the chair of the House Judiciary Committee, to say, we're actually going to look at their budget. We are going to force them to make these reforms, make these changes, and to make sure this doesn't ever happen again.
One of the most disturbing things has been that Congressman Comer from Kentucky, chairman of the Oversight Committee, has every constitutional authority to demand to see records at the FBI. They basically told him to pound sand.
Yeah.
What can they do to get
this one particular document that is a report that was a tip was given that said that Vice President Biden had received money while and was corrupt, and it was unverified and it was unconfirmed. And instead of investigating it and trying to figure that out, they just have this document of receiving this report. And the problem is if you think about all of the verification they try to do on the reports about, for example, Justice Kavanaugh, all of, you know, how many investigations into President Trump and now candidate and former President Trump. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. For some reason, the FBI is only interested in investigating these potential crimes when it's Republicans or conservatives.
Why didn't John Durham indict anyone? Why was there no charges filed? I mean, the report's pretty scathing. So why didn't anybody get held accountable?
I think one is that there's not necessarily, kind of Congress prescribes and criminalizes behavior that's already happened, so it won't happen again, right? And these were new ideas, new concepts that an FBI director, that an assistant director would actually abuse their authority and their discretion and their judgment and target a sitting president ultimately. And so I think, that's something Congress needs to look at as part of this overall package, is how do you make sure that there is some accountability, that these people, if they do this again, will be held accountable.
In the 30 seconds or so we have left, can this be fixed? Can it be? I'm not going to ask, will it be? I just want to know, can it be?
Governor, I join you. I'm optimistic about the future of our country. I believe in our republic. I think the United States of America is the greatest idea ever conceived, and it's our job to execute on that idea.
Yeah.
And so I think we can. I think we can fix it, but not with the current people we have in office. Joe Biden and, Director Wray and even Attorney General Merrick Garland are just not motivated to fix these problems. But I think they can be fixed with the right leadership, because so much of this is judgment, is discretion, and is ultimately choosing to put our country first instead of political parties.
We better get the voters motivated so that we get back the institutions and clean it up.
Yep.
Matt Whitaker, thank you for your service to the country, and thank you so much for being here and for telling us what's honestly going on inside.
My honor, Governor. Thank you.
Frightening. Matt Whitaker's social media links are on our website. You can go to Huckabee.tv and get that information, and I hope you will.